Hello, so I'm Ellie, I'm the kitchen gardener here at Doddington Hall, and we're here today to talk about and look at all our wonderful squash and pumpkins that we grow here in the kitchen garden. So here at Doddington we typically grow a lot of squash. They are more used for culinary purposes rather than carving. The reason that they are better for culinary purposes is because they have a thicker skin and a thicker flesh. So the skin allows them to store over the winter time, and the thicker flesh inside means that you've got a lot of potential to use for cooking. With your typical pumpkins that you see, our lovely traditional orange pumpkins, they have a thinner skin, making it easier to carve, and they also have a thinner flesh and sort of a bigger cavity inside. So a couple of the varieties we grow here at Doddington, our most famous one is our beautiful Crown Prince pumpkins. We grow an awful lot of these for our chefs. I think this year we've had a harvest of about 218 squash off of I think 30 or 40 plants, so the yield is really good on them. The chefs love them. It's got a sweet, buttery, nutty flavour to the flesh. It's really versatile as well. Another really popular one here at Doddington is our Uchiki Curry, also known as an onion squash because of the shape of it. Again, really lovely sweet flesh to it. Really great to store over winter time, much like the Crown Prince. And then we've got our butternut squash. So these are very much like what you see in a supermarket, but these are a lot sweeter. This is a variety called Hunter that we grew this year, and it's worked really well. This one here, this one's slightly more unusual. It's the first time we've grown this one. So this is a jumbo pink banana. We chose this one for its storage purposes. So this one stores incredibly well. So hopefully that will take us into the new year as well. And then we also have some little ones here. So these are a variety called Celebration. These are traditionally called a munchkin squash because obviously they're much smaller and they fit into the palm of your hand. Really good for cooking. You can sort of roast them whole in the oven with lots of sort of butter and stuff like that. Then we have our lovely Autumn Crown, sister to the Crown Prince. So through plant breeding, they've sort of cross-pollinated different varieties together. So you've got the shape of the Crown Prince pumpkin within this one, but you've got the colour and the flavour more of a butternut squash. Then we've got some more early autumn, late summer ones. So this is a spaghetti squash. Again, we've grown these because they store really well over the winter time, but they also have the most amazing skin and flesh inside. So the skin goes this lovely watermelony kind of colour. Inside, when you've cooked it, the flesh goes like spaghetti. So it's a really good alternative if you're wanting to do more in the kitchen with vegetables and getting people to eat vegetables. Spaghetti squash is a really great way of doing that. Then this one here, this is our sort of traditional orange pumpkin that we've got here at Doddington, and these are the ones that are really good for carving. So next up, we're going to look at how to grow your pumpkins at home. So you can get the seeds online, you can get them from most garden centres, and like I said earlier, there are hundreds and hundreds of different varieties that you can choose from. So we've got our Crown Prince pumpkins here. They're really easy to do, really great for beginners. Fantastic for children to get involved in as well. So we grow all ours in a 9 centimetre pot just to allow the roots, they've got obviously a lot more space to grow, so that when you come to plant them out in the sort of late spring, you have a really strong healthy plant. And then we've got multi-purpose, just general purpose compost. So any sort of good quality compost is what you need. Just kind of break it apart, and then what you're also going to want to do is make sure that your compost is nicely in your pot, so you don't want too many air gaps within your compost. So it's really straightforward. Just fill it up, keep firming it down at the sides, because that just means that your roots are going to get better contacts. And then typically you would only want to put one plant per plant pot, so you want to get to your seeds. So the seeds are all really different, they're really beautiful. And then simply either with a finger, with a pen, with a dibber, whatever you've got to hand, put your seed in. I like to plant mine sort of that way up, so the pointy bit is facing up. And you want to go probably to your knuckle far down. Again, just firm it over nicely at the top, so you end up with a nice, firm, even pot. And then most importantly, remember to label it, because once squash all get growing, they all look really similar. So if you're growing lots and lots of different varieties to have a go, obviously make sure you label them. You'll want to put it somewhere warm, so if you're lucky enough to have a greenhouse, they'll do ideally in a greenhouse, or if you've just got a warm windowsill, again, that'd be perfect. And then what you want to wait to see is you want to see your nice green leaves coming up, and then once it gets a little bit bigger, you maybe want to then start hardening it off and put it outside, so that by the time you come to plant it out in your garden, it's used to all the different elements, it's used to the wind, it's used to the rain and stuff like that. And then off it'll go and it'll turn into the amazing pumpkins and squash, and you'll be able to eat them throughout the winter time.
My name's Jordan, I'm one of the head chefs at the grain store. Today I'm going to cook a soup using the classic orange jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. An item like this is perfect for this kind of job. This is brand new. I've only used this once so far. But you need something good to get these open. That was a lot of soil falling off that there, wasn't it? First step is scoop the seeds out, but we're going to keep them for later because we're going to use these as a garnish for both dishes, in fact. So just using a spoon, it's really easy. It's not tough at all to just scrape out the guts of the pumpkin. There's one. I still find the best way to take the skin off one of these is a peeler, especially if you're not all that confident with knives, or your knives aren't the sharpest. Take the tops off these. I might use my big guy. I've not used it much yet. Topping and tailing. And then, yeah, I think the easiest way is to just peel the skin off. I have tried to cook with pumpkins with the skin on. Some of them have got quite a thin set skin. So you can get away with just blending the soup really well and then passing out the skin. Depends on your variety of squash, how set the skin is on them really, or how long you've cooked it for as well. Have you got a compost heap anywhere, Ellie?
Yeah, we do have compost.
Yeah, because all this is good for composting, obviously. That's what we're trying to do, isn't it? It's not waste anything. Obviously the smaller you dice it, the quicker it's going to cook. If you can slice it as evenly as possible, even better, but they've got quite a high water content, these pumpkins, so they do just cook almost down to the sauce, that consistency that we're after in the first place. Something like those crown princes, these are really hard to cut. That's where you do need your big double ender. So my pan's nice and hot. We'll start with a bit of this Lincolnshire rapeseed oil, and we'll go with a little knob of butter as well. So we've got some foaming butter going on now, so I'm going to start with a base of onions and celery. That can go in. And we're not cooking for colour, we're cooking to soften and just bring out some of the sweetness from those vegetables. And we've also got, this is a thing that we use in the restaurant, this is just confit garlic. So we'll top all of our garlic bulbs and we'll cook them down in a good olive oil for an hour. It just takes all the hard work out of the pan. It means that we can kind of preserve these. These last for a month in the fridge easy, and then they're on hand then, and we can just incorporate this into most dishes in the restaurant. So here we go with a bit of confit garlic. You can also add some seasoning at this stage as well. So in with a few big handfuls of pumpkin. And then for aromats in this soup, we are going to go with some sage. Plenty of sage because it does go really well with pumpkin. So by this point we'll go in with our cider. And this is a Newark Scrumpy. So it's full of sweetness. And then we'll let that simmer gently until them pumpkins are softened and ready for the blender. 20 to 30 minutes, if that, 20 minutes. So this is what you'll end up with about 20-30 minutes later. Your pumpkin's nice and soft. All your garlic and your sage flavours have all mingled together and we're pretty much ready to blend now. Thank you. See how we're getting on. So that's nice and smooth now. Takes a couple of minutes. Ready to pour into a bowl. To finish, a few of our toasted pumpkin seeds. And then some green herb oil that we make in the kitchen. These have just been roasted in a bit of cumin and smoked paprika. There we go.
So another really great use for your pumpkins and your squashes is turning them into candles. So here we have got some beautiful beeswax from the estate beekeeper. So the beekeeping family here have been keeping their bees on the estate for many years. So we are very lucky that we are able to use this. Obviously, because I'm in the middle of the kitchen garden, I can't actually heat this up here. So in our potting shed, we have got some being heated up. So I've chosen one of our lovely little celebration squashes just here. And simply all you need to do is very carefully is cut the top off, which is easier said than done. So you want to slice the top and then you want to find the centre. So with a trusty spoon, just kind of dig around. You want to core it out like so. Don't throw your seeds away though, because you can use them for other things. So you should end up with something a little bit like that. So when you are making your candle, one thing just to bear in mind is that sometimes when you pour the wax in, it can make the wick float. So a way to get around that is to go and have a rummage in your garden shed or dad's garage or wherever, and find yourself a little nut, and then simply slide that over the top of the wick, and it just acts as a bit of a weight and it will just stop that wick floating up when you pour your wax in to your pumpkin candle. So carefully pour your melted wax into your pumpkin just to the top and just keep hold of your wick. Take a minute and wait until it starts to set. So now the wax has set, what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to cut your wick down a little bit. So you probably want to come, so there's about 1 centimetre or 2 just above, cut it with a pair of scissors. And there you are, that's ready to light, which we can do just now.